Hey guys, I'm always like kind of like I don't know what to say every time I'm starting a live stream because I'm always like thinking about what will be interesting for the person who will just like join up to that and see this because at the beginning is just me yeah. So, hey guys, thank you so much for joining. Like I said, today I want to hear your stories about the crazy terror attack that you guys had. So I'm going to upload a link. Just a second. I'm still like new in this whole StreamYard thing. Copy a link and let's post it in the comments so you guys will have the ability to join. So today we will let's see that I actually made it. Yay. Okay, great. So today this will all be focusing on a really heavy subject. So I will not answer two questions about the Israeli educational system, something you absolutely love to ask me about, but just more things that related to terrorism, to fighting, to everything. So, as you saw, the past week, I've been more focusing at learning about this specific terror attack that happened in Mumbai today, yesterday actually. Um, I think this is something that is really important to talk about, especially because um, this is really it's something really important to talk about, but it is also something really scary to touch the subject of, not a nice thing. I'm sorry if you can hear the ambulance and stuff. Again, like I said, I live in a awesome place who is also a crazy war zone. So no, I'm pretty sure the ambulance has nothing to do with something crazy. Here's the thing. I really want to hear about your experience with this during this day. What did you what it's life as like what it is to live in a place that usually you don't have a lot of crazy stuff like this, even though like I am aware that people in Kashmir, I always say I absolutely love to go to Kashmir. People ask me like where do you want to go in Bharat, so I'm just like immediately saying Kashmir because Kashmir feels like such an Israeli place. Like I feel like they would get me. Like they will understand what I am talking about, what I am all about, because they also have to suffer with a lot of crazy stuff like that. Yeah. So if you want to talk about it, the link is in the chat group. The first link above. Um, so I really want okay, let's see. Let's answer some comments, and before you guys will have the courage to talk about stuff, please also react on Kashmir Films movie. I will lose that in future. Okay, here's the thing. I try to make reaction videos first of all to learn about Baharat, but only things that are actually sometimes I'm doing stuff for just for fun, but I want more educational things. The whole point is for me to learn to educate myself. So when I'll be in Baharat, I will know a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff um that will help me during this trip. So yeah, sometimes it is important. I mean, it is important to know who BB King Vibe is, and I don't know some Ali Fazal, I think his name is. I don't know. I think there are some things that are important to know just for fun. But however, I'm trying to be more focused on, the educational things. So if there are movies about, educational history, archaeology, stuff like this, yes, please let me know about them. Um, I do not like, I know a lot of you always telling me, watch Uri, watch, what else? The Uzi, I think I saw, well, Shah Shah, all this, war related movies. There's some things I'm watching the trailers, but most of the times, several of them um I am not watching because I, as a person, we're talking right now only about the subject of the terrorist attack. As a person who live um, in Israel, as a person who has experience so many experience with the mandatory service here in Israel. This is not something we can just like. It's not something that I can just say like, oh, okay, let's watch a fun movie, because it's not that fun to watch something you're familiar with. Yeah. Um, okay. Let's see who is joining us. Dirin, if you can understand, I'm talking to you. So wave. So I'll upload you. Okay, yeah, I see you. Knowing 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello, hello. Am I
Hey, how?
audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think it's a little bit like have some delay, but it's okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hi.
Yes,
Okay. So
yeah,
there. Thank you so much for joining this live stream today. As you can see, the whole point of this live stream today is to share experience in life and thoughts about radicalization and terrorists and stuff. So if you have something, a story about this day or in general, it's
yeah.
your
I
stage.
I know. I know the the backdrop behind this. The 26/11 attacks. Especially that incident. I was I don't know. I was very small at that time. And I watched the news and all these things happened, and I was like shocked. Many of my relatives, they stay in Mumbai. So it's the time basically that people, they come home from their work, you see. And at that point of time, you listen that so many things happened, bomb blast, this, that, everything. And, many of these guests, they were stuck in the Taj Hotel and all those things. And I mean, I couldn't believe, because I mean, I never heard of such a thing. There are, terror attacks that happen in Kashmir and all those things. I mean, we hear it often and all. So, but this was something totally different. It was a different kind of sketch, I must say. So, um, I mean, it was shocking. And the other day, I mean, you reacted to that video, right? 26/11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you also talked about the Jews, that were there in the Nariman point, Actually, I must say about that video that it was not actually specific. Okay, I mean, there are like specific incidents which was not shown actually, and it was only about Taj Hotel. I mean, that's what it was basically. There are so many other incidents, especially of the inspector, Tukaram Amle, how he fought this terrorist, etc., who came, I mean, through the seaway from Pakistan. So basically, it was planned by a terror group in Pakistan, and how they kind of like deceived the coast guard, and they somehow entered the Indian waters. They killed the fishermen, etc., and whatnot. And the intention behind them is, Mumbai is the financial capital of India. So if at all there is this kind of fear psychosis among the people, that is created, so what will happen is gradually the goodwill of the society, or the confidence that is there in India's economy, it will kind of like reduce. And the main intention behind the you call it bait khabar, right? Bait khabar. Bait.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was in the Nariman point. So the main intention was that they wanted to spoil the relations between Israel and India, because they were very paranoid about the defense deals that are there between India and Israel, since we had diplomatic relations in '91. That's when we had full diplomatic relations. So these people are paranoid about that. So somehow they wanted to create this idea of anti-Semitism exists even in India. That was their plan actually. So anyway, they couldn't succeed because anyways, the people to people ties, it is very strong. I mean, there is no doubt. Actually, even before we had full diplomatic relations, the people to people ties, we had a history of people to people ties, actually, that most of them don't understand, don't know, actually. So I must say, the Jews, they experienced anti-Semitism in India. The second example is in Mumbai, 2611, and the first example was it was during the Muslim invasion of India, actually. Okay, in the northern part of Kerala, when a Jewish family, they were actually, you know, they were massacred by these invaders, and they had to escape to the south.
You're kind of freezing right now. Can you like go and sit next to a router or something?
Uh,
I'm acting like I understand computers, but
I mean,
you're
yeah, to look freezed. Yeah, that's. I mean, uh, but can you hear me? Can you hear me?
a little bit. You're about to, I'll just like try to fix it, and I'll let you in later. I think this is something really important to talk about, and I absolutely love. I don't love to hear it, but I really want to hear your opinions about like and thoughts and feeling about what happened during this day, especially how this has affected you because this is not this is not something that is like this is not something we can just like brush over and just say oh it didn't happen. Also like what he said, I'm pretty sure like if you're trying to destroy a relationship, so the most stupidest way is to cause other countries to have the same problem, like the fact that Baharat has the terror attack, um this will not hurt the relationship with Israel. It's actually kind of make us feel a little bit more closer because now we are sharing another thing, another terrible thing that I absolutely don't want nothing to do with it. But we are still sharing another thing that is similar between our countries. Yeah, so I saw he left, so maybe he just going to fix and then come back. Let's see who else. Vikas, if you can understand, I'm talking to you. So wave. Great. One, two, three. Hey.
Hi, Cassie. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Thanks.
Good, good, good. Actually, uh, today is the date when we faced terrorist attack on Mumbai, 26/11. That day, they terrorists basically from some radical organization, and they killed innocent people, many innocent people. uh, and suddenly they enter the hotel and firing uh, everywhere and shooting the people without any hesitation. I don't know what his goal, what terrorist goal is, but many people's many people's um, are many people face a lot of pain, because the terrorists don't have feelings and don't take other life seriously. I don't know what kind of thinking they have. They are coming and shoot out innocent people. It is horrible. It was horrible for India, but right now we already face this type of attack in Kashmir and many places. But now we are give answering to them in his way, that way he deserve.
Yeah, but
So
I want to
we
hear
will.
more about your experience during this day. Like, what happened? Do you remember the attack? How did the attack affected you? Do you like were you scared to go outside in the street? Like, how this has personally affected you?
I was shocked that day. That time I was shocked. I hearing this news, and I was completely shocked and watching the TV on live coverage. I am seeing the live coverage, and just I pray to God that police caught them, these peoples, and at least they neutralized them. But unfortunately, in the hotel, many tourists, many innocent people in the hotel, uh, they will. I can't explain that time, but I feel it's horrible. It's a very dark day of my life. Very dark day of my life because I never seen that type of killing. They killing innocent people. My whole family is crying that day because we lost many citizen of India and many peoples we lost. So yeah, but end of the day we have to uh, we have to remember that day, and we have to try this activity will not happen in future,
Exactly.
because it's a lesson for us. It's a lesson for us. We have to tight security in our main areas and crowd or public areas. We we are we have to strong like Israel give answer them radicalize, they not tolerate anymore because they know, and they know how to handle that type of attacks, because technology and many more things. We will advance in technology and animations.
Yeah, but I don't want you to look at Israel as this, superhero country or something. We had a terror attack on Sunday, and four people were injured, one person killed, and we are trying our best. And yes, our technology, everything is more advanced. Exact, like one of the reason why we're like so advanced in weapon development and technology and all those stuff is because we have to be in order to survive, because people are trying to kill us 24/7, exactly just like what happened. So um I don't want y'all to think that Israel is this great country that fighting terrorists and always win. I mean, we just had our losses. We lost a person, and after that, I posted the image of the terrorist was a teacher, and what his students were talking about him. They said he was a good person. He never cursed. He never said. The only people he ever cursed was the Jewish people, and then he said, "May they burn in hell." I mean, you see how much we have to deal also in the end, because those Arab people are having the same, Arab Muslim people have the same equal rights as we having. And the fact that some students, not all the schools, not everything, but some schools are actually teaching to hate. This is why
Right.
it's dangerous. So again, I don't want you to look at us as some kind of a heroes or something. Where there is a reason why Israel is so developing in those areas, and I really hope you will not have the same reason that we have
Because
for
you are
why we
you
have
are
to.
facing this type of attack on daily basis, so you have to secure your country. But my thinking is ki all over the world have to fight this type of activity, or at least we need to close this type of educational center would teach child that type of hate, uh, and they trying
I'll
to
tell you
yeah.
why we're not closing those places, because if the government will close those schools, then those schools, by the way, are belong to like the city hall, is like they get like everything from the government of the, from the Ministry of Education or whatever it's called. If the government will close Islamic schools, then those schools will open up on a different platform, and there will be way more radicals. So it's like it's kind of keep your enemies close type of thing, but it is very I mean, again, those children, the children who cried over the teacher, of course they will cry over the terrorist teacher. It's a, I mean, they, this was something that was meant a lot to them in their life. But what the scariest thing is that we're watching those children, and slowly, slowly, they will become they can evolve to become a terrorist if unless we're going to put an end to it, unless we're going to take those children and tell them, no, this is a bad way of learning, we're going to give you better education, so you will become um, doctors, so you will become teachers, so you will become, I don't know, even a kindergarten teacher. I don't care, every job is important job as long as the job is not to murder innocent people. Now if the terror attack was against the army or against the police, then we can, talk about, I don't know, this will be a different subject. But the point is that when those children are being educated to kill fellow civilians, that is when, see, this is why Israel is in such a problematic thing. Now, your terrorist of the 2611 came from a different place. Like they came from a different country. I know you say Pakistan is like the kind of the little brother or whatever, um, but it's still, it's a, right now it is a different country. Sometimes our terrorists are coming from here. This is like, I hope this will at least comfort you to know that like most of the chances is that your radical religion, radical whatever they are, neighbors, most of the chances they will not do something like this. In here the story
Right,
is a
right.
little bit different.
But some mullahs and some teachers, some teachers saying that giving them a dream or a surety of Jannah. There was hoods and many of the concept on. So they know that is not the real life. After that, my real life will start. So it is thinking. It is set of mind when I was killed, those kafirs or anyone, I will go directly Jannat, and there was I will be happy for always.
Yeah, but this is a really childish way of thinking. This is why I always telling you that in Judaism, our heaven and hell are completely different than the Christianity, than the Islamic heaven and hell. Um, things are not like this. Like in Judaism, you're not dying and then going to, I don't know, to a party with God who is sitting on a cloud or something. This is not our beliefs. Um,
Because
and yeah.
they feel you are, that's why they feel you enemy, because your concept is different. It's not mean that you are enemy of these people. It's a god concept, and if you don't agree to, so you don't have right to kill them or hate them. You can do your prayer and your anything related to your religion, but you can't force to anyone, or you can't kill anyone, those practices or whatever other people like.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But God never say that you kill innocent people of my name, right? Never God says, because we are son, daughters, we are all from God creation, we are all from God, right? Never any father or any mother said kill my child, because all over the earth we are child of someone who create the world, who create everything for us. Why he wants to say anyone he killed my other child, kill my other child, then I will accept you, and then I will give you many facilities, hospitality. It 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 is it's not a god work, it's a human work, it's not a god work. What do you think? Hello, have you listened? Hello, hello, hello. You are not showing, your picture is not showing. Hello, hello, are you there? Hello, are you there? Hello.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me know if you're still here and you still see this because uh um no, I'm still here. Sorry. I don't know why the problems with the internet. So everyone just like come back if you are here. Thank you so much for the people who stayed. I don't know why there's so much problems with the internet. I think I know why because like I have this problem that like let's see that doesn't make me look completely bald. The thing is that like I have a problem with if one of my roommates is touching the router so it went crazy, so they're like I don't know, one of them absolutely love to touch it, no idea why. This is why I need to move, but this is a whole different subject. Yeah, so let's see, Vikas, I'm showing you again. I'm sorry for the problems with the internet.
I can understand. I can understand. No
Oh,
issues.
trust
I can understand.
me, not live with roommates like this, but sure, go ahead.
Some people doing message. That is my fault.
Mm, no, it's okay.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
yes, yeah. Please.
Oh no, I'm
But
just like I said, I'm here to hear your stories about about especially about that day. So if you felt like you said anything and you want to say, something for the people, for the same people, or I'm pretty sure it's heard like I'm pretty sure you had the same experience if you saw it on the television, if you heard it in the news, you had the same experience as many other people from Baharat and many other people in the world, like this girl right here. So I don't know if you have any message or something,
yes,
your state.
my last message. Yes, my last message is this. Uh, I am very hurt that day. I am very hurt that day because that it's broken my heart. Um, I can't explain in the words. If you lost someone who belongs to you, right? So you feel very very sad, and that day is not a good day for you, right? And my thinking is very simple. I just think that people also can change that type of knowledge we spread on your channel. If someone see like that type of people, if see, so he can also feel our pain, because uh, they have also a family. So they need to understand that thing ki we all are humans. We have feelings, we hurt, we feel pain. So if someone killed your children or your family member, what type of pain you feel, right? So same thing apply on you. Then take that type of actions. If that type of people doing that, if that type of people thinking this type of terrorist attack in any country, right? So my message is clear. uh, from India, we can't tolerate anymore that type of people. And I think what need to stand at least is at least this point, we need to fight the that type of people. We need to fight radical people or extremist, right? Sorry,
Exactly.
my English is not good. Hope
No,
you
no,
understand what
you
I'm
made
trying.
your point exactly, perfectly clear.
Right, right. So my message is this, and I'm all I am from India, and I message I want to give message to all Indians. This day, we will never forget this day, and uh, we will pray for them who lost our loved ones. And my prayer is this: God will give strength, right, to bear that pain. And all souls, God give rest in peace, right? This is my message to those families who lost our near and dear. And we also lost our citizen and our part of, right? So and all people have to all people need to do one thing. Life is very precious. Please do not waste every moment, right? And we do not know what is the what is next step, our what God wants from us, right? We don't know. God gave this precious life, so we need to use a good manner and a good way, right? This is my message, and if you want something add on this, so please. Thank you.
That is great. Thank you so much for joining this live stream and for talking
Thank you
about
so much.
it. Take care. Goodbye. Okay. Let's see. Um, the hearing. I'm putting you back
Putting you
on.
back on.
Hope now it's better.
Hope now it's better. Yes. Yes. Am I audible? Audible, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So continue
Yes.
talking
So
about
continue
what?
talking
Oh,
about
I
what?
can
Oh,
hear
I can
myself when
hear
I'm talking to
myself
you.
when
That
I'm talking to you. That
I'm gonna be
yeah, yeah.
quiet
I'm
because
gonna
this
be
is annoying.
quiet because this is annoying. Yeah. So, apart from 26/11, there were three other major terrorist attacks actually that happened.
No, I
One
know,
was the
but like
parliament
we're
attacks.
only
Literally,
talking,
no,
we're
I
only
know, but like
focusing about
we're
this
only
day.
talking, we're only focusing about this day. Only the 26/11. Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. Right now? Yeah. Okay. So no, I was just there were apart from 26/11, I was just telling that there were other three terror attacks. So basically, they were planned from Pakistan itself. So what I was telling is that we can understand your plight also, like what are your challenges. But nevertheless, in spite of all the challenges, so your society, your country has stood up by the challenges, and they have taken that opportunity in order to improve the society or bring progress into the society. And I would say the most important thing, especially in 21st century, is that see, we may come from different traditions, or maybe we may have different set of beliefs or religions or whatever it is. But you cannot have this kind of fundamental kind of religious agenda that you want to impose on somebody. See, both our societies have been victims of that, that particular hegemonic kind of idea, that if you don't agree with us, then we are going to finish you. So just like your history, even our history has been the same, which is almost similar. So many times that we have been persecuted in our own land. So just imagine how I mean, what a kind of tragedy it is. I mean, and even to this day, it's unfortunate that this kind of mindset hasn't, it hasn't stopped. Still there is that kind of mindset, that mentality, and the other day you showed that video how those Palestinian children, how they are telling that we hate Jews, this, that, and all those kinds of things. You
They're
basically are
actually
hating.
they
They're
are
actually
Israeli
they are
children.
Israeli
They're
children.
Arab Muslim, but
They're
they are in
Muslim, but
Israel.
they
So it's
are in
like
Israel. So it's like
even if they're identifying
even
themselves
if
as
they're
something else, it
different
doesn't matter.
from
They're right now.
something else,
They're
it
here.
doesn't matter. They're right now. They're here. Yeah, even in our country also, that problem is there. That religious kind of all those intolerance, or what is that indoctrination that is happening, and you must not tolerate Hindus, this, that, all those things. The same situation even in Israel also. I can understand that. So what I say is that in this 21st century, okay, it's fine that maybe on some things we can disagree, we can agree on some things, we can disagree on some things, but it need not necessarily be that particular, uh, uh, what you say, a criteria. I mean, a criteria for us to decide whether one is morally correct or morally wrong, or whether one is humane or whether one is not. Everybody are human beings, and I would say everybody has a certain level of independence to believe whatever they want or to understand whatever they want, because otherwise if it wasn't the case, then why should nature give us this everybody a certain individual sense, everybody has a certain unique kind of individuality. Why would the creation, do that for us? We everybody have, it's a gift from nature that we have a certain kind of intellect, that we can decipher many things that other creatures can't. So we have a certain kind of sense, I would say. See, if you look at our palms, we have five different fingers, right? So each of the finger is different, and only if they are different, that they function well. If imagine if all the fingers of your palm were just thumbs, how could you do something, any task for that matter? So, or if all the fingers in your palms were just index fingers, then how could things go well? Not only that, just you see the creation, see the nature. You don't have just black and white or just blue, nothing like that. You have so many different colors, and that's what makes the experience of life more rich, that there is variety in the society, there is variety in the creation. That's what makes the society, the experience of life more rich. Otherwise, I think we would have been bored, of all those things, seeing the same things again and again. So I would say, why don't these people, they appreciate some variety, I would say. Why should
Yes, but I'm
anybody
sorry
agree with
for
it?
I'm sorry for cutting you, but again, we're talking only about this specific day, this specific event. I don't want us to go and talk about the bird,
Yeah.
the trees, whatever, because as much as this is interesting, this is a good subject for another live stream. Right now, we're only focusing about this one thing. Can you hear me? Okay, he froze again. So I'm gonna let someone else, someone who's been here for a long, um, Rezangla, I hope you understand I'm talking to you. Wave if you can understand. Wave to the camera so I'll know you're aware that I'm talking to you. Great. Okay, one, two, three. Hello. Unmute yourself. I cannot hear you.
Shalom,
Great.
Toda.
Hey, how are you? I just before we're talking, I want to remind you and everyone else, we're only talking about the 26th of 11. Don't try to like to talk about other things. All we're talking about this experience. That's it.
Okay.
With that being said,
So,
hi.
hi, hello. How are you?
It depends on what you're going to say. So yeah, please let us share your experience, your thoughts, feelings,
Okay.
like about this
Uh,
day.
am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. No, now you
Uh,
muted yourself.
okay. So it was a quite tragic incident. It was not an incident. It was a pre-planned scenario, first of all. And most of us are generally focusing on Pakistan, which is a mentality that has been created in India that you need to focus on Pakistan, thus giving it a larger than life picture, which it is not. Terrorism is not a larger than life picture, but it is a political nature in India that they need to make you focus on Pakistan so that their political purpose is fulfilled, which is
Who's
typically
they?
same everywhere in the world.
I'm sorry, who is they?
Uh,
You keep saying they. They want you to focus on Pakistan. They who when you're
political
saying
parties,
they, huh?
political parties in India,
Oh yeah, okay. Politician,
political
you
regime.
yeah.
So if we study this 26/11 terror attack, so Pakistan was just a hand tool, you know. The main person who was the main culprit behind 26/11 terror attack, his name was David Headley, and he was a CIA and ISI double agent.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Before you start the whole Men in Black theory thing, I'm asking about your experience. How old were you when the 26th of 11 happened?
I guess I was quite young.
I cannot hear you.
I was quite young that time, and
Okay, great. Now we can
the
hear you perfectly. Again, what I'm saying, I don't want to hear about about all of you, like not only you specific. I don't want to hear about anybody conspiracy theories. I don't know what is the true. I don't care if lizard people caused the terror attack. I don't care about this. I'm here to hear about your stories because the whole point of this is be a person who is suffering from a lot of terror attack and maybe can give you some advice and tips on how to um, help yourself on a healthier level mentally and physically and emotionally to process terror attacks and stuff. I want you to tell me your thoughts and feelings. You as a person who had to live during the time of a terror attack in your country. What did you thought? If you're trying to tell me the CIA caused this, the CIA caused that, the men in back, whatever, fine. But we'll do a live stream of who is ruling Baharat. Okay, we'll do a live stream where I can hear all of you lizard people conspiracy. But right now, I
okay,
want to focus about your as an individual. I'm
okay.
sorry for like this is not just a message to you, it's a message to everyone. We're talking about you as a personal, only you.
Since the messages that were being sent from the Pakistan, they were audible because the whole media was there, and that was quite foolish because the media was recording everything. So you could hear their messages, and those were quite traumatic messages. For example, they were saying that you know, four Muslims, if you kill them, then they are equal to one Hindu. So this showed their hatred toward a particular community, and that was very hurtful, as well as that was very scary because
So
they were trying to
you're a Muslim person? So you
no, I'm
practice
an
Islam? Oh, okay.
no,
I'm
I'm
trying again. I understand that you are trying to promote some agenda. I do, like I always say in my videos, hashtag not all Muslims. Again, I live with Muslims people. I live with people who are identified as Palestinian. I live in a mixed up neighborhood, and near a Palestinian neighborhood. My question is, you as someone who, I don't know how old you were when you saw all these things in the media, how did you felt after that? How did you felt living in a country? Have you felt like have you been scared to go outside? What is your thoughts about weapons right now? What is your view about terrorism? How do you think we should everyone should approach terrorism? Because we cannot say this terror attack did not happen because you and I are agree that this has happened, right?
yeah,
Did Okay, great. So you're trying to talk to me about what the fear of Muslim people after terror attack, which is a legitimate conversation and a conversation we need to have, but not between a Hindu person and a Jewish person. We need to add if there is someone who is Muslim who want to join this call, he is more than welcome. But this is not a conversation you and I need to have. It's not exactly what you said there, how Muslim people felt. This is not about you and this is
no,
not about me. This is why we
no.
cannot talk about this.
I'm coming to something else. First,
Okay.
you try to hear me, all right? So the purpose I said that was that the country stands for a particular group of people, the Muslims, but it was killing those same people. It was motivating the terrorists to kill the same community of people. So this shows how partial their motive is. It shows how we can say blind their motive is. So basically, it was their strategic some aim, not just for the terror attacks. It was not their like kind of anger for the discrimination of a particular community. It was their certain state goal. So when I saw it, it was quite traumatizing. Those the pictures were coming out, especially from the Neriman house, where little Moshe and his nanny were there. So they came out. So the pictures were all over the place. So first of all, it was quite scary, and at that time, I just felt that it was, it was like traumatizing for a kid. But now, as I have learned over the period of time about the purpose of these kind of activities, so I feel that the purpose of terrorism is to radicalize an individual by radicalizing another individual. And the purpose of we as a society should be that we should replace a radicalized one by an educated one. That's how we can, make a society civil and a peaceful place to live. For example, the purpose of these terrorist acts, like the 26/11, is to create a counter opposite, of a radical. So, they targeted the Jews especially in this terror attack. And the reason for that was to tell the world that we will target the Jews no matter where they are. So there was, a kind of, they were trying to uh, pass the hatred to the other society. For example, these terror attacks were not motivated just by the idea that to harm the particular, our country, but these were to create a hatred among the particular individuals that were targeted. So they were trying to so that the radicalization of the society happen, and to stop that it is necessary that we educate people, because if we make an totally emotionful society, then people will generate feelings like hatred, anger, and they can take a terrible decision. But if we generate a society which is educated, then they will
Wait,
get
try to
guided.
fix your microphone again, move it again because you're saying something that are important, but you like becoming slowly like quieter and quieter, and I want people to hear what you're saying.
Okay, am I audible now?
Now it's yeah, now it's great. Whatever you do
So
now, stick with it.
Okay, so I was saying that the purpose of any terror attack, the motive behind is, see, they can't fight too many states. For example, America is a very powerful state, India is a powerful state. They can't fight all of them. So what they try to do is, the terrorists, they try to radicalize the mind of people. How? How they radicalize? Suppose I'm a person who is not in line with the terrorist ideology, no matter of of what places. I'm not in line. But how will he try to radicalize me? He will try to radicalize me by developing anger against me, developing anger in me by his activities. So a particular hatred develops inside me, and after this hatred develops over a period of time, the person gets his motive, the terrorist gets his motive, and that's how they radicalize the whole societies. So the how we can counter it, how we can counter any terrorism like events, is just by educating our society, and this is very essential in the present day. Why? Because it has become very easy through social media. Every day you get a lot of influx of information on social media, and nobody literally has the time to check that the information source is correct, the information that is being passed is correct or not. And since these days social medias are not free, they are controlled, they are biased. So for example, there is a person of a particular community and thousands of messages are being passed in his social media about a certain activity which may not be true. It may be total false, but just to develop this mindset in that particular community of people in a certain country, so that they become anguished, the hatred is developed in them. And then like this way the whole society gets radicalized, and people lose human beings. People lose what they have as human beings, which are passion, love for other human beings, respect for other human beings. And this is how these basic emotions that makes us who as human beings are slowly snatched away from a particular individual and a particular society. And that's how uh, radicalization spreads. So it's not just like I believe that uh, in a battlefield you do not end a war. In a battlefield you start a war. If you want to end the war, you have to end it by only one thing, which is education. And forging these strong principles of morality, respect. For example, if we talk about India, now people generally, this notion is created that Indians are weak. Like Indians, they won't, they are defensive. To in like correct words, the notion is developed that Indians are quite defensive. So you can
See,
attack
but this
them.
is. Can I ask you something? How long have you been watching this channel?
Quite a long time.
Okay, so it's just like really important for me again to say that Israel is working with India. At least you guys know. I hope you know that at least as far as you're talking right now for a person from Israel. So at least you are aware that we are working together on military, on farmers, like
Yeah.
on medical field, like in all of those fields. I do understand what you're talking right now is more about the USA and stuff like this. How they, as far as I see, how they show Indian people in their TVs, in their TV series and stuff like this. But as far as if we're talking about Israel, Israel is has like do not look at India as this third world country, as this a bunch of weak people. Like
No, no. What like I have example for that as well. When the 1971 war happened, I'm not going too out of topic. I'm just to represent my point.
yeah, sure.
When 1971 war happened, then America actually had told everyone that nobody would interfere with India. So India and the Indian Israel counterparts met, and Israel gave spare parts to India. Now, when the war India won, so the Indian counterparts asked the Israeli then prime minister, the lady, and she was quite famous in Israel. So they asked, "What do you want in return for the help you have done?" So she said that I don't want anything in return. I want you to just remember it. So that's the kind of gesture that binds people. It's not the help of economic help or military help. It's the gesture. It's the bondage of based out of warmth and like hurt. So getting back to 2611, it was a very raw event. Like they were killing, absolutely they were waging fire like wild men. Their purpose was to kill as many people as they can. And the saddest part about it was that India didn't retaliate it. There was nothing that India retaliated in any way. Instead, we were our leadership was making pact or trying to negotiate peace with the Pakistani people. So this was quite hurtful as an Indian, because actually we weren't the aggressors. We were the one who were being aggressed upon, and we should have retaliated strongly. But we were there negotiating, and we were the one who were being portrayed as bad people, kind of or victims. And this kind of notion is quite harmful for the world. you know an aggressor who is a violent person and is killing people, to instill fear and evil, he should be brought under justice. He should be penalized. He should not be motivated, for example, for being brave or doing some act of like this courage or something. He's the person who needs to be victim. He should be the person who is responsible for terror, terrorizing people in mind. So this was quite hurtful. Second, it was after really long that the Jewish community in India was attacked, and that event is quite painful, because you can see the recent pictures, when baby Moshe returned to India from Israel, and you can see the images of the house where his parents were killed. So it was quite hurtful. And it was hurtful in the sense that uh, um, for a quite long time there had been no like such event against the Jews in India. These kinds of this kind of such a large magnitude event where they were specially targeted, and of course by an outside force. So it was hurtful in that way as well. As they murdered a lot of people in a hospital. So that was quite traumatizing. And there were dead bodies all over the station. The Chhatrapati Shivaji terminal was all flooded with dead bodies. So, and death is something that that makes a person realize that how you know importance of life, how important one's life is, and how short time we have. Because many of those individuals that were dead never had this idea that they are going to die that day, and in such a terrible way. So it teaches us that we should be respectable towards others, loving towards others. And it makes us realize of how important and essential life is, and how grateful we should be about it. Because you know most of those people who were dead, among them were many of them were children, innocent children, and they had been killed in such a terrible way. And it was very hurtful. And at that day something was decided in India as well, that we won't let that happen. And you can relate it with, for example, of your all the Jewish history, all the massacre of the Crusades in York, and all that bloody history. The Jew, like as the Jewish people said, we won't let this happen again with our people. Now people don't talk about this, but the Holocaust was, you can relate it, how what the Holocaust mean to the Jewish people. Twice the size of Holocaust had happened with the Indian people when the invaders from outside came, when the Mughals came. It was twice the size. Nobody, India has been invaded more than 200 times, thousands times.
Well,
Nobody
also
remembers.
our country, this is again why the Jewish people and the people of Baharat kinda can relate to each other. I know people are using the Holocaust because that was the latest thing that has happened, but like I want to remind you all that like we had a lot of people coming here trying to destroy us. We were slaves in Africa. Our children were drowned in the river for just like our babies. They just threw them in the river. We have also a lot of things. This is why I believe it's so important to talk about this, because this is another thing your people and my people can relate on a deeper like on a deeper level.
Yeah, that's what I said. Now, when the Crusades were always all ravishing in the York, so there was a story that goes that most Indian don't know, that that there was a guy inside that castle, you can say. And they were so, they had no option. The Jews, they had no option, because the Crusades and the people were so mad that they had surrounded. So what they did, they killed each other. The rabbi and everybody, they killed each other. So we can quite relate it, because that's what happened during India's partition. Most of the people that were stuck on the other side, they killed themselves for the fear of being converted and murdered, raped. So they just kill themselves. So our two communities have gone through quite a similar experiences. I believe that forms the core of binding us together. And it is essential that our two communities stay put together, because what has been charged against your country, is also charged against us. For example, at the present day, the notion that is created about is the human rights violation, this whole angle of human rights violation. But what any intellectual person who has studied the ground events knows that it is just done by those people who are trying to shelter the basic core, which is the outcomes of terrorism. Any state would defend itself obviously against the terrorism, but to push back that state, this whole notion of human rights is created. Most people don't know that when Israel and there were airstrikes and all that, Israel sent medical aid to the people of Palestinians. Medical trucks were being supplied to them, and most of their injured were being taken care of. But these things all they disappear when it's about like when the narrative is being built. And that is true with us. The problem with Kashmir is that the who is being killed in Kashmir, it's a Kashmiri individual, because they are serving in the army, they are serving in the police services, and they are being killed, and they belong to the same religion. And how the terrorists find their grounds of radicalization is that the people who die in the counter fire, the debris of counter strike exchange, they try to nurture those people, because they are the real people who have lost their loved ones, and they are the real people who are terrorized by these events. They are the one who lose their lives and they see death. And they terrorists use this painful environment to grow their seeds of radicalization, to develop hatred. And this is what happens in Israel and Palestinian whole issues also. The Palestinians who suffer the debris of counter fire or exchange, that these terrorists of Hamas and Hezbollah, they try to develop their radicalized roots in those people, because they know these are the people who are agonized, these are the people who have felt the pain. They try to develop their roots in them. And the only way we can stop this is not by firing bullets. We can continue to fire bullets. The human history is all filled with wars and everything. But the only way to stop is educating our people. You know, that's the main thing. And if you look at the terror attack that happened recently in Jerusalem, then that individual was a teacher, and that's where the problem is. We have to stop this influx of radicalized way of education, and that's why Pakistan is such a failed state right now, because their whole educational curriculum is based upon hatred, and hatred can only bring you down. It can't raise you up. Because if you need to grow, you need to be loving, you need to be respectful, you need to be morally, you know, feel a sympathy and empathy towards the other individual. And these people lack these things, and that's why, you know, they use terror as the way of showing their strength. The strength the strength is not in terrorizing an individual. The strength is showing sympathy and empathy, because these are the basic values of humankind. And if these are not present, then you're not strong, you're just a weak individual. You will be killed, not now but someday. And that's what happened with every terrorist, whether it's a, you know, Hamas terrorist or a Mujahid terrorist in Kashmir. They think they kill an individual civilian and they feel very strong, they feel that we are very powerful people, but next day they are killed. And that's the, you know, that's what is the fate of every terrorist, that you will be killed someday. Because that is not something strong, you will be crippled one day. The strength lies in, you know, when you feel the pain. For example, India felt the pain of so many individuals in 26/11 attacks. We could have done a lot. We could have stopped the inflow of water into Pakistan. We have, you know, it was a very good opportunity for us to show our hatred toward Pakistani people, ordinary Pakistani people who have nothing to do with the terror attacks, but we did it. We still, many of the Pakistani citizens were treated in hospital in India. Many of their students received scholarship to study in India. And we all, you know, when Narendra Modi ji became prime minister, he went to Pakistan. He told their people, we are not your enemy, we don't want to fight you, we want to share love and love with you. You are like, we are the same people, we have the same DNA, we have nothing to fight for. But, you know, this is the same thing. And that's why you see that India kept on rising, whereas Pakistan kept on falling. That's why you see Israel kept on rising, but Palestine kept on falling. So this is the reason. Because, you know, this is the basic reason that people don't understand. And this is what it is. And you know, for example, like, still now there have been multiple attempts of terrorist crossing. And the place I come from, you know, it has given the maximum number of individuals that have laid their life for the country. So like every 3 months there will be a dead body that will be coming into my place, and we'll have to
Oh,
watch it.
wow.
We'll have to watch it. And that, but that doesn't mean that we develop, you know, like this hatred and anger towards the entire community of people. No, we don't have that. Our purpose here is, as an Indian, my purpose here is that if there is a individual of other community, you know, that can be targeted by this radicalized feeling, I should not be rough to him, rogue to him. I should not be like, you know, raw to him. I should be warm towards him. I should tell him that this is the thing. You know, it's not a fight against a particular, you know, religious communities. It is a fight of our nation. It is fight to keep you so that you don't become radicalized. Because if any
Exactly.
individual of any other community is being radicalized, he's simply becoming weak. He's not becoming strong. One day he will be radicalized to an extent that he will pick arms and he will die. That's his fate. There can be no other fate. He's not going to win a Nobel Prize for that. He's gonna die. And that's our responsibility, as you know, as communities, is to make sure. And that's what the whole thing of nationalism in India is, that is rising, is that we don't want our Muslim population to be radicalized. We don't want them to be radicalized. Because if you look at the entire, you know, sphere where the radicalization has happened, for example Palestine, for example Pakistan or Turkey or wherever, the Indian Muslims are the only people who are moderate, who are respected. And this is very important. Why I'm saying that? Because in the whole entire history of the Jews in India, we should remember that the Indian Muslims were quite the largest minority. But never ever was an incident where any Jew was, you know, humiliated or attacked by any Muslim. Even I will tell you a story of partition. What happened was that there was roids, and there is a, you know, very touching story about a woman who was a Jew. So there were roids, and this woman was with her baby, you know, and the Muslim mom was trying to attack her. So what happened? She went and this Jewish woman went and she confronts those mob and she tells them, please do not attack her. She has a baby with her. And the Muslim mob asked, they were very angry. They asked her, why are you defending her? You are a Jew. Why you are defending a, women of other community? This we do not have any fight with you. We have fight with them. So why are you defending? She says, no. If you attack her, you pass over, you attack me first. And they just left and she took the baby and the women in care. So this is a quite a, you know, these kinds of stories in such gruesome events, they develop humanity. For example, the recent fight of Israel and Palestine, the exchange, when Israel sent the medical aids, it was not Israel was trying to put, give the message that our fight is not with the Palestinian people, our fight is with the terrorists, because they are the ultimate threat to the Palestinian people. And that is the people needs to understand the whole loci of this problem. It is not that uh, a particular community is needs to be targeted. It is that the particular community needs to be saved, because in the end, after radicalization, what will happen is, what is the fate of Afghanistan? You will see people falling from the airplanes. You will see the women's condition, that they don't have jobs, they don't have anything. And this is what happened in Iran as well. When this radicalization started, Iran completely changed. It completely changed. And I believe India has a greater role for it. And the reason why,
Oh no, you're robotic again.
because
Wait 1 second. Just a second, I'm trying to fix it. Wait.
many communities came to India who were persecuted all over the world, who were never given refuge to any other country.
Okay, listen, you're frozen up, so can you just like do you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Um yeah, but you had some issues. Maybe it's because of the video. Can you just like turn off the video and just like keep the audio so we can hear you? Because what you're saying,
Okay,
it
can you
is
hear me?
important, but
Can you hear me now?
yeah, a little bit better.
Okay. So the point I was trying to make here is that many communities that were executed came to India, and Jews were one of them. But we should, people don't remember this, that the Shia Muslims, they were also a persecuted community. They weren't given refuge any place. They were killed everywhere, and even now, you can even at present times you hear these events of violence against the Shia Muslims in many Pakistani provinces. So they were given refuge in India, and they were never ever harmed or humiliated. And that is the reason, like in one of your previous videos, you were like confused why India, how can India have a good relation with Iran as well as Israel at the same time. The basic reason behind this is that the natives of Iran, who were the Persians, who were the Zoroastrians, sorry, who were the Zoroastrians, they were given refuge in India, as well as the present who are the Shia Muslims, they were also given refuge in India. So they have this kind of feeling of empathy, because they were given at refuge at the time when they were being persecuted all over the world. And that's a different thing, that they were later radicalized when this radicalization and jihadization all happened, and Iran was completely changed. And now if you look at their, it has a terrible state. It has become a terrible state for rights of human beings. For example, what has happened with Afghanistan, this is what the thing is. People need to understand that we have the fight of any individual of any community is to prevent his state for becoming a rogue state like Afghanistan or Iran. The fight is actually this, because the people, those who are living there, many of them have nothing to do with any of this. But now they don't have the opportunity to be employed. They don't have the opportunity to work or learn or express themselves. So what the rate what terrorism does is, it offers you a way of freedom, but in the end it is a block road. And it is a responsibility of any individual or citizen, responsible citizen, that we need to show the our particular member of the same family that there is a end road at the end. He should see that it is a blocked end. It is not freedom. It is the curtailment of his own freedom. So that's what the goal of any individual is. And that's what we learned from 2611. When after 2611, what happened was, there was a radicalized change in Indian education. The particular religion based education was a little bit brought down. For example, the particular focus on religion was brought down, and a open and diverse education system was widely distributed, and efforts were made on it. Cause and that is the reason, you see, if you look at 2000, when this incident happened, and if you look today, the top people in every most of the top people in every IT sector or medical or engineering, they are Indians. This hasn't happened overnight. We have stood our ground. We have faced that these terrible events, and we have built ourselves. And that's what the Israelis did. They built themselves. That is why the drip irrigation technology, it's Israeli, and it's wonderful, and it has helped a lot of farmers in Gujarat of India to develop crops in barren arid land. you know that technology of
Wait, you changed your mic again. We cannot hear you.
okay.
Change the
Am I
back on because now we can hear you. Great. So I
okay?
really just want, so any last words before I'm letting someone else speak, because what you said has a lot of, like, you gave a lot of important points, but I do want other
I
people to
just
get the
want to
opportunity.
I just want to say in the end that it is our duty as an individual human being, as a citizen of any country or any community or race, that we ensure that our society, a radical person who is already radicalized, isn't replaced by another radicalized person. He should be replaced by an educated and intellectual person, and that's how we can, you know, forge a fight against terrorism, and that's how really we can defeat terrorism. Not by any, you know, weapons, nuclear missiles, not by any of these things, just by maintaining the basic humanity gestures. That's what is needed at the time
Okay.
of crisis, just basic humanity gestures. That's all.
No, that is a great way to end things. So thank you so much. I do think he at the beginning, I have to admit, I thought he said a lot of anti I thought he's going, I didn't know what this thing is going to be like, this conversation, but I'm so happy he was talking about how much we should be focusing and noticing extremism, especially at education and stuff, because yeah, we can see this. Like I said, what happened on Sunday, he was the terrorist was a teacher. The children said he was a great man, and then they said the exact same thing as, we, all the Jewish people, need to go to hell. Mind you, they said Jewish people, not Israelis, not Zionists, Jewish people. So every time someone is telling you he's like anti-Israel or something like this, again, remind you, this is just like a reminder. This is not about the state of Israel. This is about the old religion. So because I guess you to create a new religion, you have to kill the old ones so people will not ask questions. Yeah. Let someone else. And now again, all I want to hear is about um yeah, wait, my girl just said something really important. First of all, hey Harmin, he talked about solutions. Yes, girl, exactly. This is so important. We need to talk about more about solutions, but I do want to hear your experience about the 26th of 11. I don't want to hear your thoughts about the government's I don't, whatever. I want to hear about your experience during surrounding this specific day, because this is something we both can benefit from. People who had the exact same thing. I'm gonna let someone who was here from the beginning, Abhi Seven, you like let me wave so I'll know you're here and you like noticing that I'm talking to you. Just a second. Okay, he disappeared, so never mind. Um, um, Priesh, wave so you'll know I'm great. One, two, three. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Am I audible?
Yeah, we're talking about terror attacks, so not that good, but yeah, how are you?
Yeah, there was just one thing, a little experience I wanted to share. So, in because in 26 when 2611 happened, we didn't have internet. We did have internet, but we didn't have 4G as spread out as we have it. And news used to spread through two mediums only: newspaper and TV channels. And what really happens in such attacks is that TV channels don't really show what is happening because it's very grotesque and 18 plus content. So what they show is after the attack has happened and everything has ended up, the destruction basically. So there was this one picture in which the Taj Hotel, where the attack mainly happened, the big portion of that Taj Hotel was broken up, and it was smoking, and there was fire and everything, and people were running, and these images were being shown by the news channels. And I remember I was very small, about 10 or 11 years back then, and everyone in my family, everybody, we were watching TV. We were like all our eyes were fixed at the TV sets, and we were all very afraid of what is happening because see that hotel, that particular hotel is you can say for high class people, you can say people who are who can afford to go there, and middle class people cannot afford to go there. So in our minds, we think of such places as more protected, you can say. So if such a big attack could happen at a place where very high profile people are going, who have very high securities and everything, then what will be happening to people like us who are very middle class and very lower level? And I think everybody in India was afraid. And there was an incident. There was a Jew family. It was recorded months after the attack happened, and when people were counting who died or who was affected in the accident, and there was this young boy who lost his entire family. Actually, they lived in India, but back in 90s they shifted back to Israel, and just for sightseeing and everything to spend some time back in India because their roots were in India. They had come back to India, and it was so unfortunate that that small boy lost everybody, their parents, the grandparents, everybody. And I'm actually I'm forgetting the name of the boy, but you can Google it.
Are you
Very
talking about
recently,
what
when
happened in Bet Chabad? Like, are you talking about Moshe or are you talking about someone else?
um, now I'm forgetting the name, but Narendra Modi,
Oh,
when
it's
he went to
okay.
Israel,
Oh,
that
yeah,
boy
yeah.
met
So we're the boy
so
name is
yeah,
Moshe. Yeah.
yeah. And see what is the thing that I feel bad is I'm safe, right? I'm afraid looking at things just on the TV. Imagine what would have happened to that boy who was younger than me if I seen the photos, if I'm recollecting it. That boy lost his entire family, and I'm just thinking that that person, his whole complete life has changed. He's living in a you can say okay, he's living with relatives and everything, but you cannot, even if you're a very good relative, you cannot just take the position of like what your father or your mother would be doing to you. So what's the solution? And one solution is that you increase your military, you increase your intelligence, you make yourself so strong such attacks do not happen. But recently, if you look at the newspapers and everything, more people are still dying, and such cases are very frequent. Every week you will be hearing something like that. Someone said it. I don't know who said it, but when you fire a gun, the bullets don't ask your religion; they hit everybody, right? And what was interesting was that in that particular hotel when the attack happened, like only 50% of them were Hindus or something. Most of them were either Christians or Jews or Muslims. So someone pointed, a Muslim man in India pointed out that the terrorists were not able to do what they wanted to do. I mean, I think it's a wrong thing to say. What I mean to say is that um, when some attacks happen, we think of ourselves. We think we could have been in that position, or we are in much worse condition because you're going in a bus, an attack could happen like that. You're going in a train, an attack could happen like that, and your whole family can be destroyed in 1 second. You won't be able to understand what is happening to you. Interestingly, the government did take action. The policemen and everybody who was involved in that accident, they didn't even have proper weapons or proper bulletproof jackets or anything like that to protect themselves. And many of them died because they were using 90s era rifles where you fire one bullet, then you take another bullet, you reload it, then you fire another bullet, and the terrorists were using AK-47. It was then when the government of India decided that no, we also need to buy AK-47, and they started procuring them from Russia. after the accident, such incident happened. Uh, what I think of that is that many people say that, oh, India is developing and everything. I think that we are too dumb. When somebody dies, then we start talking about change. We are not talking about change right now. And right now, the biggest thing that is happening is that if you look at 2611, if you look at media posts, or if you go in the Indian Facebook groups and channels, if you go into the left wing channels, you will find that people are mocking the heroes, the police officers who died. They are mocking. I saw this post of the police officer, one of the police officers who died was a little bit fat. It's okay, he was a little fat, that's okay, but a person was mocking him that, oh, this is the state of the police. He
This
died
is
for the
why I
nation.
absolutely love shit posting, because you can see how sad and lonely those people are, that like the only thing you can say is haha, the person is fat. It's like, seriously?
Exactly,
That's the best you
exactly.
can do? That is,
See,
you're such a sad
basically,
person.
they want to belittle you. Actually, they want to show you in a bad light, so that your power is reduced, so that people feel bad about themselves. The people start losing their confidence in police. The people start losing their confidence in armies. Right now, what is happening, that when a army man shoots a terrorist in Kashmir, people say that it's human rights violation. If they will let him, the terrorists will kill all the soldiers, and then he will kill the normal people as well. Then no one will say that human rights violation happened.
Well, I can like
But the
I'm gonna like jump for 1 second. In Israel, we have a thing that if the terrorist doesn't have a weapon in his hand, we are not allowed to shoot and kill him. This is why there are a lot of terrorists in our prison. I'm not saying I'm pro killing. I'm not saying I'm against. I'm just like saying the facts. The facts are that most of those people, like almost, I don't know, I don't want to talk percent, but a lot of those people, most of them, are continuing doing terrorist work from prison, and when they're out, they're going back to again to plan more terrorist attacks and more stuff. So like, I do understand why this is a human right violation. I'm not saying this is not a human right violation to kill a person. I'm just saying that, like, if you know that person will continue killing, and if you keep saying about, oh, we can learn from Israel, Israel is fighting with terrorists and stuff, this is one thing I believe we're doing wrong, because those people are going back to murder innocent people. So I do understand why they're saying this is a human right violation. I'm not saying this is a, like, I'm saying that there is a bigger problem if those that
actually,
person will
I'm not
stay.
sure. I'm not sure exactly what your point is, but I'm feeling that I disagree with you. Here's the thing: you cannot justify by not shooting a terrorist and saying that he had no weapons in his hand. If you would let him, he would kill you and a lot of other people as well.
No, that
So,
is exactly what I'm
okay,
saying. That is exactly what I'm saying,
yes.
that Israel has a problem. And like, that is the problem I believe Israel has, that Israel is not killing terrorists who does not have weapons on them at the second they arrest them.
See,
Even
I
after the
think
terrorist did the terrorist, this is a problem.
that decision is wrong, definitely wrong. I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree
I'm
with
not
you.
sure what's the rule in India, but if that's in Israel, it's very wrong because it makes no sense. It
Yeah,
makes no
I
sense.
agree with
It's
you.
simple.
Yeah.
I, I think there might be obviously some reason behind it, maybe political reason. Because see, if Israel or if an Indian army kills anybody in Kashmir, a whole investigation happens. In India, especially, a whole investigation will happen. Why did you fire? How many bullets you fire? When was the time? Everything.
Oh yeah,
They
we
will
have the
not
same thing here.
be enough. They will not be talking about if you saved someone. They will be talking about whom you killed, and you should not have killed them. That's the mentality of the investigation. The people who are investigating, they want to prove you that you were wrong when you killed someone. And I think it's probably because, see, our my country especially, we have been framed in a bad light for far too long. It's like all the human rights violation happen in India only, and all other countries are very good countries. So we are the only ones that are wrong. So if that's the thought, or that is how media is representing, even in 2611, I think when the 9/11 attacks happened, there was I mean, every newspaper was covering it, every news channel was covering it. But when 26/11 attacks happened, there were extremely few English global news channels who were covering it. Most of the people didn't even knew what happened, and it was worse. I mean, the attacks that were happened, they were much worse than what any other country has faced.
Yeah, this is one of the major problem that we're all getting our information based on what the USA are saying. Like this is why I love this open channel, so we don't need the middleman to,
No,
destroy
no,
our
it's not about middleman.
information.
Here's the thing. If you're a Hindu, right? Here's the thing. If you're a Hindu and you publish an article, in India, the current political scenario is going something like this: that if you're a Hindu and you publish an article, people will automatically assume that you are biased, and whatever you're writing it in from the eyes of Hindu, and that article loses credibility. But
That
if a
is great
minority
because
person
we
writes
have the
it,
exactly same thing as a Jewish people. That is amazing. Exactly the same thing.
yeah, yeah. If somebody who's facing the problem, he writes anything about that problem, you're biased. Simply, you're biased. But if a minority was going to write some article, and he was talking about human rights violation, and he just becomes right, automatically right, and every media will cover it. Everybody will cover it. See, there is a famous joke in India, like right now. Not a joke, something. Here's the thing: if you want to get famous in 5 minutes, just open your Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and curse Narendra Modi and just talk shit about BJP as much as you want, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter if you want to make sense or not. There should be no logic. You just need to be cursing the political party, and that's it. You'll be famous all over in India because every newspaper will be covering you. But if you want to talk something good, something
I'll keep
practical
that
that has
in
happened,
mind. Mhm. No, I'm joking. I'm
uh,
not going to do this. I totally respect Modi ji. I'm not going to do
of
this.
course, no. See, you don't respect any politician. See, if a politician is doing good, okay. If he's not doing good, you remove him. But if you criticize a political party just on the basis of you are, see, somebody is doing some economical progress, you are again putting some Hindu remarks on it. If somebody is talking about security of India, see, no political party in anywhere in Israel or in India will knowingly weaken the India's security or defense or Israel's security or defense, right? But people think, this political party is bad because it is doing this decision which is wrong and so on. I mean, people will uh, you know take meanings out of context from whatever you are doing, and then publish those articles. Like, for example, we are going off track. Is it okay if I take an example that is not
A
related
little
to
bit if
11?
you're going to come back to our conversation
Okay, never
later
mind,
and
never
we
mind,
just like
never
okay.
mind. It's
Okay,
okay.
great.
Nice talking to you.
Oh, okay, great. So thank you so much. It was really, first of all, thank you so much for immediately saying, talking about the subject I asked you to talk about and not
No.
like going around. So thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, let's see if you have any question, anytime. One thing I want to say, I cannot find it here, but for the people who donated money in this live stream, thank you so much. Like I said, all the money is basically for me to buy a phone stabilizer or just like equipment to actually show you how Israel looks like in real life, and in, I don't know, just like to show you how Israel looks like, because it's really, I keep jumping every time you're like trying to say something good about Israel, because like I want you to see the reality of Israel. Like, don't think of us as this huge, I mean, I don't know if you actually saw how where are we on the map. I don't know if you actually like know how big we are. We're not that big. That like our life is not that like great. Israel is not like advanced of the like on all field. I mean, it's not. We're just like I don't want you to get the wrong impression about us. And like, this is why it's important for me to explain to you, because I don't think the media is doing a good job. Yeah, let's see who else. I want to bring someone who hasn't. Um, Shabhas, do you understand I'm talking to you? Wave if you can understand I'm talking to you. Okay, great. One, two, three. Hello.
Yeah, hello. This is second time I'm talking with you. I hope you remember.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. So today discussion is based on terrorism.
Well, it's supposed to be you guys sharing the story of where were you and how the 26th of 11 affected you
Yeah.
in life.
Actually, to form any opinion about anything, for example, terrorism, you cannot make your assumption based on certain observation. You need to learn complete history about terrorism since the beginning, thousand years back. So terrorism is not a new thing. Only it changed its weapons, its shape. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, in India, terrorism history was also 2,000-year-old. But it took 30 years to understand our society and government that what is terrorism. Earlier, we thought that it's a law and order problem. Some people's having no job or having some grievances with the government, so they raise the weapon. But actually, terrorism is not a simple terrorism; it's a religious terrorism. We should understand. And when you are in the state of war, you should not confuse. If you are because your enemy is not confused, they are very much affirmed, and you cannot teach a lesson of humanity to a person who is holding a gun in his hand and he is ready to kill you. You cannot teach him. So many people told me, discuss with you also, then we should teach lesson of humanity to the terrorists. You actually, what is terrorism and how
Well, not
to
the
deal with terrorists?
terrorism. I'm talking about the children, like exactly what I said. The terror attack that happened on Sunday, the terrorist was a teacher, and after that, I showed an interview with one of his students, and you see a terrorist on the horizon. You exactly see how how this young child life will turn into radicalization and terrorist and stuff if we're not going to put a stop to it right now, and just like take this child and tell them, there are like cartoons on TV, right? You can just go out with like a ball and play soccer with your friends. You don't need to always um everything you do doesn't need to be focusing just on the hatred of Jewish people for that specific reason.
2 months back, I think we have a TV discussion. There was a Kashmiri activist. Actually, he was supporter of the terrorist. So he talked about Israel. And during the TV debate, he start talking like this. Then why Jewish people are there? That land belongs to Arab people. Jewish people should leave that place, go to US, and finally he told that they should leave this complete planet and go to North Pole, South Pole, elsewhere. And after he told that you people do not deserve to live in this planet, go to Moon, go to Mars.
I
So
I cannot afford a spaceship. I cannot afford a phone stabilizer. I'm asking you guys for helping me to buy basic equipment for show. So I love when Arab people are saying stuff about which land is them, and
so
then when you show like history and archaeology facts, they're just like saying that's not true.
So when these people talk about, actually earlier we thought that there is a land dispute in Kashmir problem and in the Israel and Palestine. The problem is a land dispute. But if the problem is land dispute, then why Pakistan is so much interested in this matter? Pakistan has nowhere related to the Palestine and Israel matter. So it is not a land dispute. It is not a law and order problem. It is
Exactly.
purely a religious terrorism. You should be very clear cut about it. And even with the weapon, one thing I'm sure that with the weapon, no matter how much advanced weapon you are having, you cannot win this war, because your killing rate is always less than their birth rate. You kill the terrorist, again many people are become radical, and they come, and because they are ready to sacrifice their life. You cannot threaten them, neither you can teach them, because they come with a gun. Yeah, one thing I agree, that if somebody is not with gun, or having some mental disbalance, you can arrest him, you can teach him. But certainly one thing is, if you have a humanity in your mind, then it will become your one of weakness, because they raise human rights violation issue, but they will never follow any human rights, because they are not treating you, they are not treating us as a human, because it is not a simple terrorism, it's a religious terrorism, and they consider all other persons kafir. For all of us, we are kafir, and in their mindset they are they are very clear cut. And many people talk me like that, because of education we should educate them. Many terrorists are engineers, they are PhD doctorate, MBBS doctor, and they are involving in terrorism. So it is not a problem of money, that they are having, they are poor people, they are having no job, this is a law and order situation, because somebody invade their country, their land, they start using terrorism. No, 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 it's a purely religious terrorism. They are using religious text before committing any terrorist activity. They are using terrorist text, their religious text. So we should be very clear cut vision about terrorism. Until you are not having clear vision, you cannot treat, you cannot make a clear cut policy about terrorism. So one thing is sure, that it is a religious terrorism. And how to deal with, first you should recognize what is problem, then remedies, how to you deal with. See, with the weapon, you cannot win this war. Simply, only weapons you cannot win the war, because their birth rate is much higher than your killing rate. If you kill 4 terrorists, 4,000 new people come and join this radical group. We need some more weapons. And just before your discussion, I heard that you told that if somebody come with gun, we can kill. But if somebody is not come with a gun, no, no, no. Today, the terrorists having multiple weapons. Social media is also a weapon, and they are using all this social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. They are using all this as a weapon. Even many radical groups, they are operating from outside the India. They are radicalized Indian people without weapon, social media. And if somebody is not with weapon or not with gun, it doesn't mean he is having no weapon. In Germany, France, there are many incidents where a truck driver, a radicalized truck driver, used truck to crush the people. Truck is not a weapon. So weapon is basically in your mind. So it doesn't matter whether you are having any gun or not. If you have mindset, you can kill the people. So terrorism is still, we are not recognizing terrorism, the real threat of. It's a very, very big problem. Even with, if we kill 4 to 5 people, we cannot conquer this war. This problem is really, really very big. It's a all front war. Weapon is one front. And I am very affirm and very sure that if somebody comes with a gun, if you trying to teach a lesson of humanity, trying to change his mindset, you will definitely cure you, responsible for your death. Simply because that person is very clear cut that he will kill you and he will go to heaven. They are very clear cut mindset. And if somebody is ready to sacrifice their life, you cannot threaten them also, because your weapon is meaningless. He is ready to sacrifice their life. And last but not the least, now they are sending their kids, their women's to this war. Because see, I am the male person of my family. Normally my responsibility is to shelter of my family. I come in front of some threat is occurred, I come in front. But these people are putting their children, their females in front. And when army soldiers by mistake they kill their kids, their childs or females, they start crying. that Indian army or Indian police kill their kids or childs, their wives, their females are killed, then why you send them to in front of the army? If you throw stone, if you throw stone into the army person, how he can treat him? Even you can kill any individual with a stone also. Definitely he will get fired, and when fire on, fire bullet never recognize whether the person is female or child. So problem is really very big. With humanity or human rights mentality, you cannot win this war because they are using everything as a weapon. They are using human rights also as a weapon. If you get killed, it is their win. If they get killed, it's your loss because you are a human rights violation. You are doing. So problem is very big. It's not a small problem. Terrorism is not a small problem. First of all, it's a religious terrorism. It's not a law and order issue. It's not a grievances. It's not a land invasion. Not invade. It's a clear-cut religious because they are using their religious text. And if we talk about this, some many people talk that we are spreading hatred. It's not a hatred. We are truly trying to recognize the threat. What is threat? We are not using that religious text, but they are using. Before killing any individual, they are loudly say their religious codes. We are not doing this. That if you really address that problem, what is terrorism, then people may call you that you are also a radical person. To counter radical, you also become radical. Then how will you conquer the problem? Until you recognize the problem, how you can conquer? You cannot make a policy on a problem until you recognize this. So that's my thought.
No, it's first of all, thank you so much for joining this live stream, and thank you so much for saying what you think. This is a touchy subject. This is it's a really I don't know how to explain it, how to say it, but this is a subject not a lot of people are willing to show their face and actually bravely talk about it. So first of all, thank you so much for doing this. I do believe you said a lot of important things, and especially the reason why I love listening to you is because I actually you're the type of person that like you're a teacher, right? Something like this. You're in the education. Yeah. See, I remember. This is why this is so important for me to hear from someone that his job is to educate people. Whatever I'm blabbing, I mean, it's one thing. When I'm saying that like those children is being taught hate and stuff, this is why I think it's amazing that you are here, because I 100% sure that you, when you work on your educational field, you're it's really important to you, this subject. And if you will see something slightly close to radicalization in your whatever you're doing, I'm pretty sure you will be the one who is going to stop this, because as a teacher, this is so important to notice stuff like this before the rest of the people are noticing this. Because a lot of terrorists they're saying that like, oh, in school he was mentioning this and this and he did this and that, like in schools. So thanks to some really alert teachers, um, a lot of people from, let's just say even children from broken homes and stuff, like as long as the teacher can identify the child and like ask and like making sure this child will be in a safer environment and give this child better education, like this is one of the reasons not a lot of people will like be extremist. Because the second that that person is feeling like religion extremist is part of my life, but there is a lot to live, like there is a lot of reasons to continue living and stuff. This is why I think it's so important that teachers, I'm sorry, I'm just like I'm assuming you're a teacher. I don't know if you're a principal or you like the dean of some university. I don't know. I decided you're a teacher. I just like, I really think this is really meaningful when a teacher is joining this conversation, and this is not just young children saying, oh, radicalization is bad. I mean, you put a lot of depth to this conversation. I'm sorry for my English. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, your definition is depending upon your objective behind. Like if you use knife for operation, open heart surgery, then using of knife is good. But if you are using knife to kill someone, then it is bad. So it is your objective motive behind that incident is deciding the definition. So knife is neither good nor bad. Your intention is good or bad, because when you do open heart surgery, exactly we put knife in front of the into the body, there is a blood come out, but it's not a crime because your intention is to protect somebody's life. But if you are using knife to kill someone, then knife is bad. So your intention behind any incident is important. If a soldier killed anyone, it's not a crime because he is protecting his country. But if a terrorist killed anyone, because terrorist has no objective, having no objective to kill anyone. So intention behind every any incident, your intention is important. That is my clear cut vision. Yeah,
Okay, that is great. Thank you so much. Really, it really means a lot that we're every
yeah.
time you're
Thank you,
joining this live stream. So take
thank
care.
you. Yeah,
Bye. Okay. I absolutely love, people from a lot of different fields to educate us and, share their experience and their thoughts and feelings. For everyone who wants to join, I saw some people writing in the chat, how do I join? So the link is on the chat above. It's like pinned it there. If you are joining, you have to have your camera on. If not, we'll just like remove you from this because I don't know. If you want to be here, you have to have your camera on. Okay. Bahi7, are you ready now? Wave to the camera if you're like ready to go live. See. Okay.
Hello,
Hi.
ma'am. I'm Avino, and today I'm going to tell about 2611. So this is the problem of, as Bikash sir has told to you, this is the problem of thinking. How the people start thinking, he do the things in his own way. So according to me, to stop the terrorism internationally in all the countries, we should cut the root of the this radical thinking from all the world. And for that, for running any institution or anything from where the people are learning these radical thoughts, they need some money, they need some support. uh, so we should cut that support. Like sir, like ma'am, we are thinking, I'm going to give an example. The example is that some countries are using international money for uh, for educating these types of radical minds in their country. So we should stop that by just cutting the money, because the economy and the means I want to tell you, everything is just play a very small, sorry, everything is playing a very vast role. If we are talking about money, money is playing very vast role in any system. So if we want to stop all the radicalization and
No,
like this,
I think this is a first of all, yes, exactly.
yeah, ma'am,
Like
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking
I
a
am a
lot about,
student, ma'am.
teaching this. No, okay, first of all, great, but I really believe that like what you said, this is another great topic. Like they need money. Like they all
Yeah, yeah,
like
ma'am. I want to tell you like that. Money is the main matter. If you cut down the money, the roots will cut down. Then the the growing tree will also just cut it down. So
yeah,
my
that
topic
is
was
a
that
very small
yeah,
thing.
we should cut down the roots, not going to the fight to the all the many types of terrorists. The fast solution is that just cut the roots, not go the fight, go to the border and fights. And we have very vast experience with that. So we should not daily fight with the terrorist. We are searching here and there where is terrorist, how they will attack. We have to spent a very huge amount over this. So we should focus over the roots. We should not focus over the terrorist only. Where they are planted, where from where they are being launched, we should cut that get roots. So this is only the topic I want to tell here. And
No,
thank you,
it's
ma'am,
it's
for giving me a chance here to speak.
no, sure. Last before you're leaving, do you want to share your experience about the 26th of 11? And not, if not, it's totally cool. Like, I'm not forcing
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
to talk.
Okay, ma'am. On that time, I was very little. I think on 2008, I was in fifth class. I think in my primary class. So I was only listening some news headlines. I was very shocked how these things are happening. They haven't heard, and there means like that type of feeling I was getting. But as being now, I'm an at undergrad first year student. So I think this is a very huge thing that happened in India. So on that time, I think our internal security was not tight enough. That's why this was happened. So and government also learned from that incident and have worked hard in this field. And now they are going great. And our NSG commandos on that time done very great thing. And if they were not came on that time on the right time, the the losses were become more and more. So I
Hmm.
am very much on that time I was very sad. But as according to me, right now, peoples of India are very thinking about security purpose, and that's why government is also sanctioning more money to the budget, to the security budget. I mean defense budget.
Well, I do understand why they added more to, to defense and stuff after things like this has
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, ma'am. Because no one's thinking that how the people can came from the water side. No one was thinking about that. That's why this was happened. If everyone was cleared about that, many men can come here from here also. And the main problem is that Indians always were very polite in thinking like this. That no one can do this. Why the people will kill any man or any person? Mentality is like that. That's why I think that time happened. But after that, people also start thinking, yes, someone if means I am going to travel in train. If I feel on after that, after reading that type of articles, I am very aware. I aware that if someone is suspicious in train, I just inform to GRP, means police of the train. Before that, people was just go to trains and everywhere. They never thought about that this can be happen. But now they are very much aware about that. So people
Yeah.
are mostly, if someone is came to train and to plant a bomb or something else, they just being spotted by the help of the persons of the India or travelers. So I think this thing also evolved after that.
Yeah, it makes sense that security law and more stuff were, being more
Yeah.
thorough and more serious after something like this has happened.
So ma'am, at the last, I want to tell only one thing, that we should focus on the roots, not on the tree. Tree can be much bigger and bigger. If we cut down the roots, they will automatically fall down. So thank you, ma'am. Have a nice time. Bye bye.
Thank you so much and good luck on your, student year, first student year like you said. Good luck with the exams and everything.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
Welcome. Bye bye. Okay. Let's see. Like I said, if you again, people are sending me like DMs asking me how to join the live stream. The chat link above that what is giving you the opportunity to be on the live stream. You have to have your camera on, and I don't think I will do this for long because I think almost 2 hours is enough. Um, Okay, let's talk to Ayush and then let's see what's going on. Hey Ayush, how are you?
But Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, so let me first tell you about my story about 2611. Actually, I live in the middle part of India, in Madhya Pradesh. So Bombay is quite far from here. but I was about 7 year old. Yes, I was 7 year old at that time, and I was in my village when this news came out, and I first saw it on television. The first picture I saw about attack was fire and smoke from the Taj Hotel, and then I paid attention to the news, and then I saw the news, what they are saying, what happened, and that all things. It was for me like I have heard about terrorist attacks happening in India before, like in Mumbai in 1990 it happened, and all bomb blasts and such things. So first, when I saw the fire and that thing, I thought that it is a bomb blast. But later, when the news came, when people got to know about it, they I uh, I got to know that it was like 10 terrorists came and they went to different places. They open fired everywhere, and like such things. Like it, Taj was the main center point, but there were more places like the nearby hotel, the Oberoi Hotel, the Nariman Point. These were the three major points which came to the news at that time. Uh, and so it was terrifying for everybody. Like I was just a kid at that time, and it was the first time I was watching a thing like that, and so yes, it was not a nice experience and all. And one more thing, which is a sort of a positive thing, which people know, people got to know about very late about it, like about the owner of the hotel, Mr. Ratan Tata ji. Like he did what that after the attack, whoever lost, who the people who have faced the loss, who have lost uh, their family members and their people, he helped them, and like he not just helped it for once like compensation, he truly ensured that they don't get any difficulties further in life and all. So when like it this was a positive, sort of positive thing from that incident. Like an incident like this can not be positive, but we can take out some heroes behind the curtains from uh, that kind of incidents. And yeah, so and about solutions to such kind of problems, like I personally believe that the solution to this kind of situations and problems and this kind of mindset is some bold moves and some bold statements, because history is a very big teacher, and in history, when there was you might have heard of Prithviraj Chauhan. He forgave Muhammad Ghori for 16 times. Like forgiveness for once, twice, it is good, but eventually, when if you keep forgiving peoples like this, it will not end in uh, it will not end on a good note. Not for just one person, but for the entire country. That for 16th time he forgiven him, and 17th time he won, and that costed India about 600 years of struggle. So it is very important to uh, understand that yes, uh, forgiveness is a good thing, but you need to understand who deserves it and who does not. You need to be able to distinguish between those kind of people. And so one the solution is still remains the same as always, that you need bold moves, you need bold statements. Even some bold statements sometimes work more effectively than actions. Like I should tell a incident about once a terrorist group from Pakistan uh, said that we will not let Hindus go to the Amarnath. Amarnath is a pilgrimage site in India in Himalayas. So we will not let them go there. If they will go there, there will be bomb blasts and all things. So there was a leader, public leader. He had a political party, but he never participated in politics and sort of things. He boldly said he was not in power, but he just made a bold statement that if this thing happens, we will not let any airplane or any vehicle uh, leave India going for Hajj. So, and the organization took the step back. So sometimes bold statements can do the work, because these people, like the those who are doing this kind of terrorist things, they are not actually that brave. They are just being brainwashed and all sort of things. So the solution is very simple, and people need to understand that it is a very simple thing. You just need to understand that you have to be bold, make bold statements, make bold actions, and do the right thing. Yeah.
Exactly. I did not interrupt you because everything you said I 100% agree, and I had absolutely nothing to, add. So, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your story about how you experienced the 26th of 11. It means a lot, that someone is sharing, and I'm pretty sure all the people are watching, beside the trolls, some trolls on the chat, but beside them, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are sending you their love and respect for you to actually be brave and strong enough to talk about this. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Before leaving, you said that you have Bharat movie night sometimes. So I have some movie suggestions. Like there is one movie, The Legend of Prince Ram, which is available on YouTube in English. So you can watch that.
Let's just like focus on the fact that there is a movie that is also available in English, so I will not like, yay, finally.
It's
You know how
a
many time I
anime
get just
movie
like,
actually. It's
mhm.
actually a anime movie about Prince Ram, and it was made by collective efforts of Japanese and Indian artists. So it might be available on Hebrew, but I don't think that it might be available in Hebrew. I
It's
didn't saw
okay. I
it
can
in Hebrew,
suffer English.
but it is available in English. And the main person behind this was a Japanese who researched about Ramayana and the things. The name of the movie is The Legend of Prince Ram, and on 1 hour and 24 minutes, there is something which is the basic think tank of we Indians. So it might help you to know much better about Indians.
Okay, that
And
is
also,
pretty.
if you haven't seen Bahubali, you can watch Bahubali as
No,
well.
Bahubali I saw Bahubali 1, I saw Bahubali 2, don't worry. I saw Bahubali. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that you might have seen Bahubali because it is like one of the most famous movie in India.
Actually, Bahubali 1 was one of the first movies I ever reacted to on the past channel that I used to work there. So this Bahubali was one of the first videos I ever made um for Bahala.
Past
So
channels I may not know about them.
Oh, it's okay. The channel is not like exist anymore, but just like I'm just saying that this was like kind of one of the first videos I ever made was like the movie about the movie Bahubali 1. So so I'm
Yeah,
very familiar with this movie.
yeah. So that was it. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for joining this live stream and I hope to see you next time.
Okay.
Okay, take care. Goodbye. Okay, I absolutely love the fact that you guys are actually willing to share your thoughts, feelings, experience with this. Okay, last person I think. Same name, great. Yarush. Okay, 1, 2, 3, you're on. Hello. You're muted. Unmute
Hi,
yourself. Okay, great. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Oh well, thank you.
Today I think
Okay, you froze. So try to fix it and then come back. In the meantime, I want if you have any questions, write down in the chat. Let's see if you have. So feel free to write it in the chat if you have any question. If not, um, I don't know. If not, I think I'll just end this live stream because it's 2 hours unless Yarush will come back again. Let's see if you have anything you want to say. Um, anyway, yeah, let's see. I see he's coming back. Mm, You're on?
hi.
Great. Things are good? Okay,
Yeah,
great. Thanks.
actually, I was connected with my personal data and not from Wi-Fi. So
Okay.
at
I
that
don't
particular time, I
understand
lost
any of
I lost
that.
the data,
Oh, it's okay. I don't
100% data.
understand computer, so it's okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, so about 2611 and my experience related to it. So hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you
So
this time.
actually, I was okay, okay. Actually, I was a child back, and I remember that I was sleeping at that night, but my dadi was wide awake, watching news on TV, at drawing room, and actually, my dad at that time was in Bombay, and when he came and when she saw that news, she was continuously doing phone calls to my dad that how is he right now and where is he at what part of Bombay is he. She didn't even know about it, so she was continuously phone calling him. He was probably sleeping, and he I think that he probably put that phone on do not disturb or turn off the volume or something. So and I remember that I also didn't sleep. I was midnight awake, and uh, I was awake with my dadi, and mom also got awake at 4 or 5, and we were watching that news from midnight to almost 6 or 7 p.m. 6 or 7 a.m., and it was quite horrible.
Well, I can totally relate on how she felt on like trying to reach out
Yeah.
people that you know that are in the same place as the terror
even
attack.
even
So
people even people even we still remember it till day, every single day, every single year, 26 November.
yeah, that sounds difficult. Like
Yeah,
it just sounds really difficult. So
so
first of all, thank you so
yeah,
much for
that was my
sharing
personal
this.
experience.
Yeah, it's really similar to like I said, something we
Let me
have a
sit
lot.
closer to router.
Oh, great.
Yep, let me sit closer to router.
No, you do you. I don't
Yes.
understand all those tech things. So what I'm saying was that
Okay,
like
okay.
when you call to the people you love and like those seconds that you don't know what is happening and you don't know where they
Yeah,
are, It's like
She was
it's
actually, I still remember that she was really crying, and she was just lost it. And, uh, she was kind of close to a heart attack. She, she she's actually, really caring for us. I still
yeah, of
remember.
course. It's it's terrible. I mean, just thinking that you maybe lost someone you love. It's just
She is
like,
cute.
was she okay now? I mean, this date, I know it has a lot to people who were, affected by this.
Yeah.
Like, I hope she's fine now. I mean, I hope this, like, not reminds
Oh,
her.
she is perfect.
That is great. I'm really happy to hear because I know a lot of people who still have, could not shake this and just like leave it behind and continue moving forward.
No,
So
she's really perfect.
that
That's
is
why I
a
said
beautiful
she
thing
is
to
cute.
say.
Other day she just became a normal woman.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your experience about this. I hope this date will turn out to be, will change to be something, of joy that you're celebrating and not reminding all the time about how terrible terror attack is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so thank
And
you
we also
very
remember
much.
a great hero of that day, Tukaram. If you have heard of him.
I'm not sure, but you can tell a little bit to every person who is watching if you want.
Tukaram was a police officer who died in that attack by
Mm,
Kasab, and he was the guy who actually caught him with his AK-47, and he shot bullets in his chest.
that is, I mean, you need to have a lot of courage to do
And
something
he
like
he
this.
he caught him alive.
Oh, wow.
So till date we know that he is actually a Muslim, not a Hindu,
Mm,
because he was wearing a kalava, and and in his ID his name was Hindu, but actually he was a Muslim. That was a fake ID, and he was also ruling a kalava.
well, it's
You
it's
know, in
crazy, but
interrogation,
yeah.
we came to know that he was actually Muslim. His name
Wait,
is
you're
Kasab.
becoming robotic. You're
People
becoming
people already
robotic.
started, huh?
It's like you sounded like a robot for a second. Like there was a problem with
Your
the
your
internet.
voice is your voice is actually breaking in between.
Okay, so maybe it's a problem on my end, but can you say again what you said?
Yes. Actually, the guy Kasab, uh, he was wearing a kalava like we Hindus wear, like this. Uh, if you can see, he
Yeah.
was wearing this, and his name in his ID was actually a Hindu name. I don't remember that name. So in interrogation, police found out that he was actually a Muslim and as a Hindu. And political parties like Congress, till the time I think between 1 or 2 days, they started making conspiracy theories, like how Hindus can be involved in this terror attack, what's the motive and all this. And I really salute to Tukaram for this. He actually caught him alive.
Well,
That
yeah,
was so needed.
it's important. Thank you so much for, sharing his story and
Yeah,
sharing
yeah,
your
you're
story.
welcome.
I think this is so important to actually speak up about something, about things like this.
Hmm. So, any questions? Like,
Well, I want to know, how are you like right now when that day is arriving, like when the 26th was getting closer? Did you like Are you in school? Are you in college? Are you in like work? Like where are you
I
in
am in
life?
college right now. I am in
Okay,
college right
so
now,
did your
doing
college
my third year.
did you did something about, did you memorize, like did you do something to on that day, like did the college, the educational system did something to remember this day, or was it just like a normal day?
Actually, not college didn't do anything regarding this, but
Mm.
people share experiences like news media tell stories about it, and even in YouTube, if you start seeing, you will come across some one or two video like a Bollywood scene. Actually, Bollywood also made movie on 26/11, so you also see clips
Well, Bollywood makes
of
movies
that
about
movie.
anything they can get money from, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
also don't like Bollywood that much, but yeah, it's
yeah.
just normal. Bollywood is improving, I think. We are
Mm.
doing pretty good job, I think, in improving it.
Well, maybe I'll watch it. Yeah, anyway, so thank you so much for joining this live stream and sharing
Thank you so
your
much.
thoughts, feelings, your history. It really means a lot.
Thank
So
you so
take care. Bye. Goodbye.
thank you. You too. Yeah, good.
Thanks. Bye bye. And on that note, I will thank you all for joining this live stream, this platform. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts, feelings. It really means a lot. I'm gonna end this live stream here. I'll try to do live stream every Saturday. I'm not sure I'll be able to, but just like you can, if you don't know when next live stream is, most of the chances it will be on a Saturday, because that is the only day that I can have a couple of hours to actually do something. So thank you so much for joining this live stream. Thank you for all the brave people who actually join and show their faces, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye guys.